Squid Game Season 3, The Ultimate Theory. The excitement for Squid Game Season 3 is palpable, and the stakes couldn't be higher. With Netflix confirming that Season 3 will be the final chapter of this intense saga, it's time to speculate about what will unfold. Based on hints from the cast, director, and recent teasers, I've crafted a theory that ties all the clues together. This might be the Squid Game finale no one saw coming, so let's break it down. The setup. What we know for sure. We already know that Season 3 will be the final entry in the series, and it's confirmed that the story will conclude with a final showdown. The players will face off in some of the most intense games yet, and the VIPs will be making a return. The ending will pick up exactly where Season 2 left off, with players voting on whether to continue the deadly games or end them. As expected, the O side will win, as many of the X players were eliminated during the rebellion, leaving only a handful remaining. Ji Hoon's fate. One of the burning questions is what happens to Ji Hoon, Lee Jung-jae. In the images released for Season 3, we see him handcuffed to a bed in the bunk room, clearly in a vulnerable position. But there's someone else in the room with him, standing before him in a green tracksuit with long hair. This figure is likely to be Dae-ho, played by Lee Jung-jae, who failed to bring the ammunition during the rebellion, causing its tragic failure. Ji Hoon harbors some deep resentment toward Dae-ho, as the rebellion's collapse and the loss of key players, including his childhood friends, were largely due to Dae-ho's failure. Despite the animosity, I don't believe the other players will be allowed to harm him. The frontman has always treated Ji Hoon as a prized player, and I believe he's been kept alive for a reason, likely as a tool to break the spirits of the remaining players. In Season 3, Ji Hoon's moral core will be tested. Will he stay true to his principles, or will the system finally corrupt him? The final games reveal. Thanks to a teaser released prior to Season 2, we have a unique clue about the games in Season 3. By analyzing the business cards from the promotional materials and the artwork seen in the bunk room, I'm certain I know the layout of the final 3 games. Here's what I predict. 1. Dongdaemun. The first game will involve players acting as a bridge, with others marching across it. As the clock runs down, the bridge will collapse, eliminating anyone caught on it. This game is inspired by the traditional Korean game of Dongdaemun, where players march in a train-like formation until the music stops. The symbolism of the game involves a circle within a circle, which ties to this Korean game, and it perfectly fits the setup for reducing the number of players. 2. Why Did You Come to My House? The second game will involve 2 teams singing a song about flowers, and engaging in a game of rock, paper, scissors to win players over to their side. This game will test friendships and alliances, forcing players to betray one another. The symbolic representation of a house in the promotional images strongly suggests this game, and the previous clues make it almost certain. 3. The final game. Hanging. The last game will likely involve hanging or monkey bars, a physically demanding test that could lead to brutal eliminations. Players will be forced to climb and traverse these bars under time pressure, with some bars collapsing randomly. It's a test of endurance and strength, where only the strongest will survive. The coffin and unexpected twist. There's one image from the promotional material that shows a coffin, leading fans to speculate who could be inside. Many have assumed it's young Bae, who was taken out after the rebellion, but I believe it's actually player 246. Here's why. Player 246 and the artist father, player 100, have been shown as a pair, with the artist father even teaching player 246 how to reload during the rebellion. This connection is key. Guard 11, who sympathized with the artist father, might have chosen to spare his life, and player 246 could very well be the one placed in the coffin as a message to others. As for Guard 11, she may be the key to the rebellion against the organizers. After helping player 246, she could decide to escape, knowing that the game's organizers will be after her. She may run into Junho, who will begin piecing together the mystery behind the games and the island's locations. With Guard 11's help, Junho and his team could mount an assault on the game's stronghold, taking control of the island. Who will survive? One of the most intriguing clues about who will make it out of the games alive lies in a promotional banner. Comparing this with Season 1, Ji Hoon's position on the banner mirrors that of the final 3 players from Season 1, suggesting that he may indeed make it to the end. The promotional material also hints that player 222 and MJ Coin might play pivotal roles in the final moments, with MJ Coin potentially sacrificing himself for player 246 and her child. Despite the odds, I believe player 246, Ji Hoon, and Junho will make it to the end, though not without significant losses. While player 246 has been a fan favorite, there's a possibility she might not make it due to the plot armor theory. Her pregnancy could be a symbol of hope, but it's unclear whether the director will respect this trope or subvert it entirely by putting her life in jeopardy. The frontman's redemption arc. The frontman, Lee Byung-hun, has been a mysterious figure throughout the series. In Season 3, we'll likely see a shift in his character. His role in the games has always been to ensure fairness and order, but it's clear that he harbors some internal conflict. A potential redemption arc could unfold, especially if he begins to feel empathy for the remaining players. In fact, the frontman's relationship with player 246 might lead him to reconsider his own beliefs. If player 246 survives to the end, it could be due to the frontman's intervention. His decision to help her could mark the beginning of his moral conflict, as he struggles between loyalty to the organization and his growing sense of humanity. The final showdown. As we approach the end, there's a possibility that Ji Hoon, having survived the games, will confront the VIPs and organizers. Perhaps in an act of ultimate revenge, Ji Hoon might force the VIPs to play the games themselves, ensuring that they too experience the horrors they've subjected others to. This would be the ultimate poetic justice for the players who have sacrificed so much to escape the cycle of violence. In the series finale, I predict that Ji Hoon will be the one to bring down the games for good. He may choose mercy, however, giving the VIPs one last chance to redeem themselves before the final destruction of the game. The twist could come when Ji Hoon ultimately sacrifices himself to ensure the games are destroyed once and for all. His redemption arc could mirror that of the frontman, where both characters find themselves at a crossroads between right and wrong. A bittersweet conclusion. The final season of Squid Game could end with Ji Hoon visiting his mother's grave, reflecting on the pain and suffering he's endured. But just as the series seems to offer a sense of closure, Ji Hoon receives a call from his daughter, suggesting a new beginning. This could be the final twist that leaves the door open for future installments or spin-offs, with the game spreading globally. As Ji Hoon heads to the airport to reunite with his daughter, the reveal of a man in a suit slapping someone foreshadows that the games are far from over. This would set up Squid Game, America's spin-off and beyond. What's next? Squid Game Season 3 promises to be an unforgettable ride filled with twists, betrayals, and emotional moments. Whether Ji Hoon ends up as the hero or the villain, the series will ultimately shine a light on themes of inequality, desperation, and survival. The final season could see the end of the games, but it's likely that the message of the show will endure far beyond the last episode. What are your predictions for Squid Game Season 3? Who do you think will make it to the end? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.